How does a story manage to pack a whole lifetime of loss and just a tiny flicker of hope into only a few lines of dialogue? Well, today, we're going to break down the really powerful journey of a princess who's been forced into exile. We're going to trace her path from total despair all the way to this new, incredible determination. So the story kicks off not with some big, dramatic scene, but with this single, really weary question. You can just feel the exhaustion in those words, can't you? This isn't just about how many miles they've walked, it's about the crushing emotional weight of every single step they've taken away from a life that's, well, it's just gone now.
And that question, it's the perfect setup for our first part. The journey begins. This is where we really get into the true physical and mental toll of an exile that, honestly, already feels like it's never going to end.
Her companion's response basically confirms the harsh reality of it all. This journey is long, it's tough, and they are nowhere near the end. This isn't him trying to reassure her, it's an acknowledgement, a validation of her despair. It makes us understand this isn't just some trip, it's a complete uprooting from her entire world.
And right here, the princess's response, man, it just cuts right to the heart of what she's feeling. How long they've actually been gone, it's completely irrelevant. The emotional journey, the sheer trauma of being cast out, has stretched these moments into what feels like an eternity. It feels like a lifetime because the life she once knew is, for all intents and purposes, over.
So this sense of a lost lifetime brings us right into our second act, A Princess's Burden. The focus here shifts from the journey on the outside to the one happening on the inside, to the specific memories and the pains that are really truly haunting her.
And this sets up a really powerful contrast. I mean, you'd think the main struggle would be physical, right? The biting wind, the relentless cold. But for the princess, that's almost manageable. The cold that really chills her to the bone, well, that's something else entirely.
And there it is. She reveals her deepest wound. It wasn't an invading army or some political scheme that broke her spirit. It was the rejection from her own people, the coldness she saw in their eyes. That memory has become her constant, bitter companion on this whole journey.
What a heartbreaking question. It shows a fear that goes so much deeper than just being in exile. It's the fear of being completely erased, forgotten. It's the loss of her identity. You see, beneath that royal title, there's a person who is just desperate for connection, wondering if her existence ever even mattered at all.
And this is so important to understand. Her sadness isn't about losing luxury or her status or a throne. The story strips away all those typical fairy tale ideas to get to something much more universal, much more human.
She just wants to go home. It's a desire that's both incredibly simple and, at the same time, just so deeply profound. This is the ultimate expression of what she's lost. Not a kingdom, but a place to belong. A place where she felt safe, where she knew who she was.
Which leads us perfectly into our final act, searching for a new home. After facing the absolute depths of her despair, this is where the story and the princess herself really start to pivot and look toward the future. Now, her companion says something that forces her to confront a truth that she has probably been trying to avoid this whole time. That fantasy she has of just going back is about to be shattered by a really harsh dose of reality. This right here, this is rock bottom. The devastating acknowledgement that the home she's been longing for, it just doesn't exist anymore. And in this moment of just utter despair, it feels like all hope is completely gone. This is the death of her past.
But just watch what happens next. From this absolute lowest point, we see this incredible internal shift. She confronts the reality, she lets herself feel the despair, and then something clicks. A turning point. No, we cannot give up. In that moment of complete loss, she finds this new resolve and forges a brand new goal, a new destination, the Northern Clan.
This is the crucial transformation. The journey is no longer this aimless flight from something, it suddenly becomes a determined mission toward something. The goal isn't about returning to the past anymore, it's about surviving to build a future.
And the story ends with this powerful, simple declaration. It's not a question anymore, it's not a lament, it's a statement of pure intent. That weariness from the beginning is replaced by determination. The lost princess is becoming a survivor.
And that leaves us with this final thought, doesn't it? The princess's story kind of forces us to ask what home really is. Is it just a physical place on a map?
Or is it a feeling of safety, a community? Maybe something we have to build for ourselves when everything else has been lost. It's a question about loss, resilience, and that search for belonging that I think resonates with all of us, far beyond any castle walls.